that. Hello everyone, I did have to do a quick hotfix there as regards the audio. There may be some snafus and some issues as we start this. There is, for example, a completely different thing going on with the lighting that I personally expected. Like, there's a whole different thing happening and I don't really know what to do about that. So we're going to try our best, see how it plays out, and just see how it goes. I'm going to be messing around a little bit with some of the features, some of the settings, trying to work out how to make the lighting effective, because at the moment it's a completely different setup that I'm used to, and I'm not entirely sure why. It's just sort of done its own thing. So I'm experimenting. I'm trying ultra low latency. It's telling me the video resolution is in fact too high, which is amazing and not something I really expected, but we're trying it. We're trying something different. And we're going to jump straight in. As usual, I'm Tom Colohue. This is an Ask Me Anything stream. Please remember to hit like, remember to hit subscribe if you haven't as of yet. I'm going to be going through the Crown Jewel 2021 card. I'm going to be answering your questions. I'm going to be talking news, rumours, betting averages and the like. And just in general, I'm going to be talking about this crazy old world that we find in wrestling. Now, I did promise you some new designs. They are on the way. At the moment, I've just switched it up slightly to see how it plays on camera. Jesus Christ, I am low latency. I literally just did that. So 2 seconds. I am 2 seconds out. I am not used to this. Not used to this at all. But welcome everyone to the show. I am Tom Colohue. We are going to be talking Crown Jewel. I'm not going to be watching Crown Jewel. That's away, and I'm not going to be watching it anyway. But we're going to be talking Crown Jewel. Welcome, Sean. How you doing, mate? Welcome, the user. Glad to see you both. If you are here in the chat, please do ring out and say hi. If you'd like to lurk, you are also welcome to do so. So, Crown Jewel. That's the big show coming up. Not to be confused with the big show, but the big show coming up. The one that is in a part of the country that the WWE are working extremely hard not to tell you where it is. You know the one. They're just not going to bother telling you where it is. Could be anywhere. Could be anywhere. Let's just assume it is anywhere and everywhere, rather than Saudi Arabia, where they're trying desperately to hide the fact that, yeah, that's where it is. Saudi Arabia. What they've done is put together a card that makes me annoyed that I'm missing it, which is an achievement. They should be really proud of that. Just being able to say that they are delivering a show that is high quality is a good start, especially when you consider that we've just had the news come out. There's not going to be a December pay-per-view, apparently. This coming from the Wrestling Observer, so they've not been batting 100, but this is usually a section where Dave Meltzer gets it right. So what's going to happen there? Not sure, but we do have a pay-per-view right at the beginning of the year. We just get Royal Rumble and then another, Royal Rumble and then another January show. That works for me. I'm not too upset about it. It means I can have a nice long nap in December. Also, to be fair, Survivor Series is going to be quite late on in November this year. The card, as it's laid out at the moment, is basically set and finalised, and it is stacked, as you might expect. We are not expecting to see a Raw Women's Championship match, just as we are not expecting to see a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. There's a couple of people we're not expecting to see in matches at all, that being Baron Corbin, who's not making the trip this year, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, potentially Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn. A lot of people not going to be making the trip this year. Charlotte Flair is, of course, one of them. Alexa Bliss, another one, even though she has gone previously. There's quite a few people missing it, but it's mostly for storyline reasons. So WWE have managed to get 2 women's matches on a show for the first time, basically ever. Basically ever. Do please let me know if I'm having any issues with the resolution or the stream. Our stream status has gone from excellent to good, and I've upgraded considerably. Apparently the issue is it's too good, and YouTube's struggling to handle it, which is kind of funny. I think we'll all agree that's kind of funny, considering the situation that I've been in previously, where my laptop has been melting rather than actually hosting a show. So the card at current: Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali. The Queen of the Ring finals, which are expected to be Shayna Baszler versus, I think, Zelina Vega, though Carmella is also a name that could potentially go. The King of the Ring finals, expected to be Finn Balor versus Xavier Woods at this point. Raw Tag Team Championship match between Randy Orton and Riddle, so RK Bro, and AJ Styles and Omos, a rematch from SummerSlam, I believe it was, the last time they actually had this match. Can't remember what they did in Extreme Rules. Not that, either way. We will also have a SmackDown Women's Championship between Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, a triple threat to end all triple threats there. Honestly, I'm very hyped for that one, even though I'm not going to be watching it. A Hell in a Cell between Edge and Seth Rollins. Can I just say, same thing that I just said. Should have been a tremendous match. Will be a tremendous match. Refuse to watch it. I mean, I got to give them credit. They're trying to make me watch. They're not succeeding, but they're trying. We will then have no holds barred between Goldberg and Bobby Lashley. A WWE Championship match, Big E defending his first pay-per-view defense against Drew McIntyre, and our main event for Saudi Arabia, which is in Saudi Arabia. Crown Jewel the event, but in Saudi Arabia, even though no one's mentioning Saudi Arabia, is Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Brock Lesnar. This gives us a lot of options for match of the night and potentially just a really good match. The women's triple threat has every possibility of stealing the show, as well as, of course, the Hell in a Cell. But Lashley versus Goldberg, no holds barred? There's potential there. I don't think anyone's actually going to get murdered, as has been suggested by several of the competitors, and by several I mean both and us all, but it's probably a good thing if no one gets murdered, so let's just hope that that's going to be the case, shall we? I personally would rather that nobody get murdered in Saudi Arabia. I think that may be part of the reason why I'm not watching. Maybe you shouldn't focus too much on that. And of course, the in-ring return of Brock Lesnar could be a lot of fun. Could be a lot of fun. It's been a long time since we've seen Brock, and it's interesting because he won't be fighting from the top. That's where Roman Reigns is nowadays. He fights from the top. He holds people down. Brock Lesnar is going to be acting as a face. He's going to be getting beaten up, and then he's going to have himself a comeback. That's the situation with Brock Lesnar. And honestly, it's been... Has that actually ever happened? Like, genuine question. Has Brock Lesnar ever actually been the underdog in a wrestling match? Because I don't think he has. Even way back in the day when he fought The Rock for his first championship at SummerSlam 2002, he was still Brock Lesnar. He was still a dominant figure. He threw the Big Show all over the place. His match with Kurt Angle was fairly even, but still. He was a face then, but he wasn't an underdog. Very different situation. Very different indeed. So, let's go from the bottom of the card that I've just read through, go all the way to the top, and just see what we can make of it. In the meantime, for anyone who hasn't yet, please do remember you can click like on the video. That helps us grow and helps us find a new audience, and I very much appreciate it. And of course, you can also hit subscribe if you haven't to get more content like this, more Q&As, more news, rumours and spoilers for the shows ahead. Spoilers are in a different video. I won't be focusing too heavily on spoilers here, just so that you feel safe. Welcome, noob. You alright, mate? Was glad to see you in the video yesterday as well. Great seeing you, man. Says good afternoon, and good afternoon to you. It's a bit of a random stream today. I'm just testing out the quality of the streams that I can put out now. The video resolution is apparently slightly too high, so I've got to work on that. But please let me know if there are any jarring issues that make you think, wow, I don't want to watch Tom Colohue anymore. Just let me know if that becomes a thing. So, to start with, the first match, Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali, the latest one to be announced. And honestly, I felt they were going for the tag team championships. They seem to have changed their mind. It seems a little bit out of nowhere, but the team have been losing for a few weeks, so clearly it was part of the plan. It isn't a huge shock. It's very much something that they did have in the pipeline. It's not a last-minute gut-wrench decision, as it were. I felt really good about this tag team. I was hoping that they would come to SmackDown. If you watched the mock draft, for example, I was hoping we'd see them on SmackDown, where I felt they could just add a lot to the overall tag team scene. In the end, that's not going to happen. There'll be no continuation of the tag team. I hope that after the match, we're just going to have a handshake and we're just going to continue, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. I think Ali may sink like a stone, whereas Mansoor might regain some of his composure when it comes to SmackDown. Mansoor, after all, still there. Not Mansoor. Sheamus, after all, still there. He did deliver the first defeat for Mansoor, and I feel there should at least be some sort of unfinished business there, or at least a start in that direction. Hopefully they remember, that being the WWE, that they have these people who can do great things and who haven't been asked to do great things in a very, very long time. Anand Vaswani's in the chat. Welcome, Anand. How you doing, mate? Says, do you think WWE mixing way too much between Bianca, Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte? Honestly, I don't. And the main reason I don't is because in 2 weeks, there will be a clear divide between all of them. Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks will go to one side. Becky Lynch and Bianca will go to the other. And the actual match won't be immediate on either side. I think Becky versus Bianca will be pretty quick, but that'll be Royal Rumble, for example. Now, with Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks, I don't think that'll happen until after WrestleMania, because I do feel Shayna Baszler's on the horizon, as it were. That makes perfect sense to me, and it's something that I'm just really very excited about as a concept. It's something I want to see. And I know it's often I'll sit here and say, I want to see this, I want to see that. I do fantasy book. I'm a little guilty of that. But I do feel, based on the information available, based on what we're seeing, that that is the plan. Apologies, my throat has suddenly gone very, very dry. Good thing this is technically my day off. Yeah, guys, this is my day off. Imagine a world in which my day off I spend still streaming. It's almost like I enjoy my job. Almost like I enjoy my job. My expected winner between Mustafa Ali and Mansoor is going to be Mansoor. I think it's sort of the obvious choice going forwards, and it really... Either one of these could win and it won't make much difference, but to that crowd in Saudi Arabia, it will make a difference. They're going to be cheering on their hometown guy, and by hometown I mean home country, and booing the bad guy who has differences. I think it's a little cynical the way they're making it happen, but they are making it happen. There's no question that they're going to succeed in making it happen. We kind of might as well embrace it rather than really fighting too hard. I'm excited to see what Mansoor can deliver going forwards. My worry, though, is that without this tag team, they're going to sink a little bit. They're just going to sink. Anand says, I'm fine. How are you? And how's the new set of preparation going? Preparation's going well, Anand. We are streaming from the new PC right now, in fact. Apparently, the resolution's too good. He keeps telling me, there's too many bits coming through. The bit rate's too high in the stream. You got to work on that. You got to work on that. So I'm going to work on that. Try and make it so that I'm delivering quality without being unstoppable and just a massive wave of technology. Basically, the crowd's just too good. Not the crowd. I read what Sean said there. The PC is too good. And honestly, I'm hyped for that. I'm very happy with it. I'm excited to see how Twitch handles it, because Twitch does have a gate that limits the amount of bits that come through. So that should be fun. And we'll see more of that tomorrow, for spoiler warning, of course. Sean says, will the Saudi crowd accept Ali since he's Pakistani? No. Nope. Nope. If there's one thing we can say about a Saudi Arabian crowd, it is that they're intolerant. I feel we can all agree on that one. If you haven't yet done so, please remember to click like. That little thumbs up under the video can make a massive difference to me, to my growth, to the show, and all of the involved. So please do consider doing so. It makes a really big difference. And thank you to someone who has already hit subscribe. Thank you very much, whoever that may be. I unfortunately did not get an alert through, but I'm going to be setting up YouTube alerts shortly so that you can see live and on the show who's been clicking that button. Thank you, everybody. Max says, why do you think Sasha is not booked like Charlotte and Becky? Well, Sasha's not the champion at the moment, and also there is a question of faith. She vanishes a bit. Becky Lynch is scripted to mock Sasha Banks for disappearing. She's been specifically told to do that. There's a reason she's been specifically told to do that. The WWE not best pleased with Sasha Banks as of late. Sasha, of course, very unlikely to pick up the win in Saudi Arabia, but not entirely unlikely. Anand says, if there is no pay-per-view in December, then WWE can easily extend Roman versus Lesnar to the Royal Rumble, as Brock has been advertised in their Royal Rumble poster. I do expect that's the case. I think Brock is going to lose this time around, pretty convincingly, but due to a little bit of cheating. The question will still be, where is Paul Heyman's loyalty? And then I don't think we'll see Brock until the build for the Royal Rumble. A brand new year means a brand new Brock, but also it means the exact same Brock as we always get. But hey, there's nothing wrong with this Brock. It's going to be the same in ring, but will it be? I'm genuinely intrigued as to what variation of Brock Lesnar we're going to get, because this feels like a very, very different incarnation, and that's very exciting. I do think a lot is going to be extended until January. They're going to have, between Survivor Series and January, they need to develop a lot of brand new storylines, because ultimately right now, people are on the wrong brand, and then we've got Survivor Series coming. So we're just in a very difficult situation in which we do have to think about the fact that the WWE can't build new characters and new storylines until they get rid of the whole brand versus brand thing. Survivor Series is in the way right now. Hi Riffing, how you doing, mate? Sean says, doubt this is true. Always a fair assumption when it comes to the topic you're about to discuss. But Ringside News just tweeted that WWE released Bray because he became difficult to work with. Now, when you say Ringside News tweeted it, is this a report from Mad Men podcast? Because Andrew Zarian of the Wrestling Observer did state when advertising his podcast earlier today that he had an update on Bray Wyatt. So it would make sense that that's what Ringside News are actually reporting. That was discussed about Bray Wyatt way back when. I personally did mention it if you guys were here for the show when I talked about Bray Wyatt's release. I did mention that certain people in WWE were just not best pleased with the way he was protective of his character. So I'm not sure if this is necessarily news, but hey, if people can forget something over a few months and then you just say it again, sometimes it comes across as news. Riffing says, is Sean Spears leaving AEW? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think he's had the rub of the green there. I don't think he's had a great time there per se. But I don't know where he's going to go that he's going to get a better chance, to be honest. Sean Spears, I like his wrestling, but I think he needs to work on a more compelling character, personally. But that's just my opinion. Anan says, I do hope Brock can show some new moves. Have seen too much of suplexes from him. You and me both, mate. You and me both. That is basically the Brock Lesnar special, as we know. Suplex, 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 suplex. I've had it with the repeats. Riffing says, is WWE done releasing main roster talent? No. But for now, don't expect to see anyone randomly drop off. It won't be massive batches like previously, but people are still going to get released from the company. They're never going to be done. Next up, talking about matches for Crown Jewel. Let's talk about the Queen of the Ring finals. Now, I've spoken about who I expect to have win, so this is going to be a fairly brief coverage. I expect the winner to be Shayna Baszler. I don't think that'll be a surprise for anyone that I'm expecting that. I also don't think that'll be a surprise for anyone given the booking of Shayna Baszler. I, of course, exclusively reported that there was a big push coming for Shayna a couple of weeks ago. In fact, I can now check without actually worrying too much about slowing down the PC. So I can actually just bring that straight up and let's see. Where's Shayna Baszler? Where is she? There she is on the 21st of September. So more than 3 weeks ago, I reported that we were having a big push coming for Shayna Baszler. And I'm so happy to see it happening. Just so happy to see it actually happening at this point. I'm thrilled that it's happening. Now, Doudrop is going to be the major challenger. Neither Zelina Vega nor Carmella are legit challengers to Shayna Baszler, so it depends on what happens on Raw. If Shayna Baszler can escape the clutches of Doudrop and move on to the final, more's the better, and Charlotte Flair needs to start watching her back. Survivor Series as well is usually a big tell about who's going to get a big push. You see when Bray Wyatt pinned Roman Reigns, big push was coming. Keith Lee working with Roman, big push coming. Drew McIntyre claymoring Volta. We all said at the time, oh, Volta just got buried. What we didn't realise was that it was a big moment for Drew. And this, of course, was what skyrocketed him to the mainstream main championship and that big Royal Rumble win too. So keep an eye on who has big moments at Survivor Series. Shayna Baszler could get that build. Outside of this is also the Men's King of the Ring final. My expectation, very much, will be that Xavier Woods, I said Shayna again, Xavier Woods will feature in the final against Finn Balor. I don't see Xavier Woods winning, but I wouldn't be upset. This feels to me a lot like when we had Rhino and Heath Slater, Heath Miller now, of course, Heath for Impact, hashtag, working together to win the tag team championships. I didn't necessarily see them winning and beating the Usos because the Usos just had a big heel turn, which they still kind of have. But they did win. And I wasn't mad. I was thrilled. I was really glad to see it. So for me, Finn Balor wins. But I wouldn't be upset if Xavier Woods winning either. Logically for me, Xavier Woods picks up the win against Jinder Mahal. Has the chance in Saudi Arabia as well. Especially with Big E going, take the New Day, take them all, have a lot of fun. Riff says, Parker Boudreaux reminds me more of Snitsky than Lesnar. I don't think there was ever any actual strong comparison to Lesnar other than the fact that, oh, they came from a similar background. I never saw it. I really didn't. Oh, they're big and they came from a similar place. Yeah, not really, though. Christoph says, greetings to Ireland. Well, I'm in Blackpool in England right now, but I am Irish, so I'll take that, Christoph. I appreciate that. Welcome to the show, mate. Riff says, will we get new NXT call-ups after the draft? Yes. There is a number of people who are currently waiting for the opportunity to be called up. Some notable names such as Dakota Kai, Io Shirai. I did a full video on this on the 10th of October. I will take a copy of that link and stick it right here in the chat. If you want to know more about more call-ups who are coming after the draft, check that out, Riff. Sean says, think WWE will wait until the next batch of releases to let Metal Elite go? Honestly, no. I think they are trying to quietly let him go. If they can guarantee it will be quiet, he'll be slowly snuck out. And to be completely blunt, I'm just going to be completely blunt here, I don't think the WWE will worry too much about potentially missing him. We are nearly 22 minutes in. We are currently covering the WWE Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, which is Crown Jewel 2021. We are just giving a bit of a preview and some predictions and some betting averages for it that you can check out. If you're new to the channel, please do consider clicking that subscribe button. It makes a big difference to me. And if you're new to the chat, please do remember to click like. That little thumbs up can guarantee more viewership, can guarantee growth, can guarantee a future doing this for me. If you enjoy this content, I urge you to click the like and the subscribe so that you can share the wealth with everyone. I would really very much appreciate that. In the meantime, Anand says, do you think Bayley could make it in the Royal Rumble or would be out until WrestleMania 38? Personally, I hope she can make it to the Rumble as a surprise return. She will definitely get a huge pop. Let's talk news on Bayley for a moment, but we won't talk about it in the chat because once again, you want to talk Bayley? How about an actual exclusive update on Bayley's status and her return schedule? There it is, Anand, right there in the chat. You can just grab that, watch, click like, please comment as well. I do appreciate that. And see what you make of that as well. If you can just right click and open it in a new tab, you can leave this stream going, just mute it, just quieten it down and watch what's going on with Bayley. Riffing says Xavier should become King of the Ring before he wins the Royal title in the next 2, 3 or 4 years. I don't necessarily think Xavier Woods will ever intentionally push for the world title, but I do think King of the Ring will definitely be in his grasp. I think maybe 2 years or so. I think the company will wait until the fans have started to give up on Xavier Woods picking up that win. Then he will get the win. That makes the most sense to me. Let's talk about the Raw Tag Team Championships. In case you can't tell, I am swapping screens every now and then to keep up with what's going on. So, based on the actual match laid out, it is RK Bro versus AJ Styles and Omos. The champions versus the former champions. A rematch from WWE SummerSlam. And really, Orton and Riddle have shown their hand already pretty succinctly. All of their focus has been on AJ Styles. They have distracted Omos and attacked AJ. AJ Styles has been shown to be the weak link. And in showing their hand in that manner, that's really telling for what's to come. Because I think we can all agree, AJ Styles, despite being, in my opinion at least, the greatest wrestler in the world, he is the weak link with Omos. He definitely is. So that's something we need to consider going into the booking. Thanks for coming in, Sean. Have a great time at work, and I'll see you tomorrow, mate. So that has to be considered. RK Bro, I feel, have no requirement to lose these championships. Both of these teams are staying on Monday Night Raw. RK Bro going into WrestleMania makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know what happens then for Styles and Omos, personally, but I feel at WrestleMania we're looking at a multi-man tag team feud. So 3 or 4 tag teams involved, but these 2 teams definitely. RK Bro, for me, hold on to the championships, probably for a very, very long time. Riffing says, are Sami and KO leaving WWE together? Maybe. Just maybe. It really depends on what contract offers come in. So far, the contract offers are not satisfactory. Riffing, that would actually be quite funny. I wouldn't be against that, at least in brief appearances, but I wouldn't have him joining full-time. At the moment, the 24/7 division exists entirely to further the WWE's TikTok goals. Y'all remember TikTok? Yeah, fun times. Fun times. RK Bro retaining the championships for me. Let's talk about the SmackDown Women's Championships, and I'm going to start talking about betting averages after this as well. So the SmackDown Women's Championship triple threat, will be Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. So there are 4 Bs in 6 names in that show. That's going to be a difficult one to keep up with. We know this is going to be a very high quality match. Becky and Sasha have a ton of chemistry. Becky and Bianca have shown a ton of chemistry. Bianca and Sasha, we know, have got award-winning chemistry. So we know we're going to get high quality in this match. And it is just a thrilling concept that we're going to get it. But it'll probably be quite brief in order to actually play out. Now, when it comes to this match, what I'm personally excited for, even though I'm not watching the match, is whatever comes next. Because honestly, I think it's an absolute giveaway that Becky Lynch is winning this one. The plan for Survivor Series seems to be a lock. Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch for title versus title. There will be no... I saw some suggestions from clickbait wrestling journalists and gossip columnists that it's going to be a title unification match. That same wrestling journalist also suggested Charlotte Flair was going to be added to the match in Saudi Arabia. So far, not so much. He likes to just make stuff up. What can I say? What can I say? So don't expect to see that match happening for that, but it will be champion versus champion, much as we'll see Big E versus Roman Reigns. Could be fun, could be exciting. Now, when it comes to the match itself, I'm going with Becky Lynch. After that, I think there's maybe a 10% chance for Bianca Belair and a firm 0% chance that Sasha Banks comes away with the championship. Because Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair are on Raw, and Charlotte Flair with the Raw Women's Championship is on SmackDown, there will be, on the SmackDown afterwards, so a week and a day in the future, there will be a handover of championships, one champion to another, handing the belts over. That is going to happen. So when it comes to that, it needs to be a Raw superstar going forwards who wins the championship or retains it. Becky Lynch is a logical choice. We already had Bianca Belair, and Becky Lynch is also the betting average favourite. However, keep an eye on this match. It may be a sleeper hit. It also may be botchy as hell because the women are going to be wearing very intensive clothing and gear in a very, very warm country. So they may not be performing at the highest of levels as you'd expect. I would forgive them based on the situation that they're walking into. Riff says, should Omos turn on AJ Styles and form a tag team with Commander Aziz after he also turns on Apollo? No, that would not be very fun for me at least. Styles and Apollo are doing very good things for Omos and Aziz. Aziz and Omos are very green, and they need time to develop alongside people who are already there. Breaking those tag teams up and putting them together, you're going to get a botch fest. There's no question. Yeah, Riff, I get the feeling you just like really tall guys. And each to their own. If you're into tall dudes, all power to you. Riff also says, is Daniel Garcia signed of AEW? Maybe. Essentially, AEW keeping that one close to the chest. And honestly, I can't blame them. It's nice to keep something in reserve to positively surprise people with. If you haven't yet, please do consider hitting that like button and that subscribe button. It means the world to me and can make a very big difference. Welcome to the show, AK Ray. I'm doing very well, thank you. Hosting a stream here with a brand new setup, brand new PC, and just some brand new tech, which so far is not terrible. You know? Not terrible. So I'll take that as a massive plus. We are also an Ask Me Anything stream. If you're brand new here, please do consider jumping in and asking questions. You are also welcome to lurk if you would prefer. What's next on the Crown Jewel card? Hell in a Cell. Edge versus Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell. Honestly, this is another one that could be match of the night. It really could be. When you throw them in the cell, even though we've had Hell in a Cell fairly recently, this still feels fresh, this still feels exciting. Just having it at a different period of time, even though it's very close to when they normally have Hell in a Cell, feels different. It feels intense, and this feud does seem to have deserved it. It's not often anymore that you just get feuds that earn the Hell in a Cell, and this has definitely succeeded in doing that. The betting favourite is Seth Rollins. I'm going to go against the betting average here. The betting favourite is Edge. I'm going to go against the betting odds and go with Seth Rollins. The main reason I think this is because Big E needs heel challengers who are going to be on Raw. You don't get much bigger than Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins versus Big E seems logical for the future. A win over Edge will catapult Seth Rollins into a position whereby he could challenge in that regard. I don't think there's many other top heels other than Bobby Lashley again who can go up against Big E. Big E versus Seth Rollins for me is a logical choice. A Seth Rollins win here really does help that. Christoph says, I know it's not up for debate right now with both having other things to do, but wouldn't it be great to put together AJ and Finn as a tough, no BS tag team and give them a successful run? I'd love that. I would also quite love that. I would really, really enjoy that. I don't think they're going to do it yet, but I think having them both on the same brand, they're going to talk. They're going to make suggestions. They're going to do everything they can in order to make, firstly, a match happen. But yeah, a tag team could definitely work as well, and I'm excited by the prospect of it. AK says, Hell in a Cell, not only for the sake of the pay-per-view is good, do these for other gimmick pay-per-views. Well, we might have to do it with TLC, considering that the TLC pay-per-view is apparently not happening. So we'll see what's happening there. Riff says, who's better, Finn Balor or Carlito? No idea. I didn't watch Carlito at the time, so it's unfair to compare. Ooh, it's unfair to compare. I like that. That's branding. That's branding. Thank you for the like, Ed. Appreciate that. Christoph says, yours and Nick's take on Crown Jewel was the best I've heard. And I've heard quite many, and I've heard many. I enjoyed that. That's one of the reasons we put it on YouTube. Just the reasons that I'm not watching Crown Jewel. Thank you, Ed. That's good. Good advice. I've been working with the ring light and trying to work out how to best use it. My forehead suddenly got very, very shiny, so I need to work on that. But there's a few things I'm still playing with at the minute. But yeah, quality's there. I just need to work on the lighting because it sort of reset things a lot. Welcome, Ed. Hope you feel better soon, man. Sorry to hear you're not feeling too great. Also, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us. AK says, will Big E hold the title until WrestleMania? Who can take the title off him after a healthy reign? I think Seth Rollins is the obvious choice, to be honest. Outside of that, I don't think there's anyone really ready for that immediate jump up. Really, that immediate jump up. I don't think there's anyone immediately ready for that role. So it may take a little while to develop a new top-level heel. The Miz could do it, but I do feel Bobby Lashley will get back into that position sooner rather than later. Till WrestleMania, now that we don't have a December pay-per-view, maybe. I'm really genuinely not sure. I don't trust it, basically. Riff says, I have a feeling that WWE will turn Sheamus babyface to feud with Roman. I would not be against that. I like what Sheamus has been doing recently, and I think they could do more with him. Thank you, Christoph. The new tech was basically bought for me by several people in this stream who are there on my Twitch show, who jump in and are so incredibly generous. And yes, managed to get me a brand new streaming PC, which will be used for Football Manager. There'll be some gaming stuff on here, and we'll see how it goes going forward. I'm going to be doing a lot of experimentation in the shows in the next few weeks to see what works and what doesn't, what technological quirks and issues that I have, and we'll see how we can develop from there. It's one of the reasons I wanted to do a stream today. AK says, video and audio quality is quite better today. Good. That's what I like to hear. And Anand says, thanks, Tom, for sharing the Bailey return video. Enjoyed that news and fantasy booking. You are welcome, Anand. Thank you for checking it out. This is why you need to be watching every video that you can, because all of them have good bits of news in them. Lauren says, one of these days you got to turn the volume up, both here and on Twitch. The volume, unfortunately, if I turn it up, all you're going to hear is real crackling, because right now it's on max. It is full on max. If I go any louder, you're just going to get towards the red section, and it's going to start to crackle and overplay. Unfortunately, live streams are just quieter. I'm trying to work out how to change that, but so far I've just had no luck. Live streams, unfortunately, just quieter, and I need to work things out as regards it. Riff says, why did WWE no longer make animated cartoons? Because nobody was watching them, so it wasn't worth the money they were using. Alyssa, welcome, says, do you think they should replace the pay-per-view calendar, No Way Out, New Revolution, Judgment Day, Unforgiven, and get gimmick pay-per-views? No, I very much think they should go the other way and go back to those shows. I enjoyed Judgment Day. I don't feel the gimmick pay-per-views have been in any way successful, and I just want them to stop. Hey, Gleb, how you doing, man? How you doing? I saw your tweets yesterday, and really, your next YouTube video is one I'm very excited to watch, I tell you that. Very excited. Looking forward to it. How you doing, man? If anyone has just joined us, please do remember you can click the like on the video. That little thumbs up makes a big difference and can immediately improve the amount of people in these streams. And that means we grow faster, that means we grow further, and it means I get closer and closer to making a living, all from one little thumbs up. So please do consider it if you haven't already. Riffing says, is Batista the Hall of Fame headliner for 2022? It seems more likely than not, yes. That is a very likely situation. AK says, Priest versus Dijakovic with his old gimmick could be a good feud with brilliant matches. It could be, however, I don't think the WWE are really going for that, unfortunately. Dominic Dijakovic, they seem firm on the whole... Is he Mace or T-Bar? I think he's T-Bar, isn't he? They don't seem to want to drop off on that. They seem to just want to keep him going. And that disappoints me. But hey, sometimes things just work. Riff says Rene Dupree was wasted when he was in WWE. I've met him since. Lovely bloke. Anand says video quality is indeed looking much better in YouTube. Keep going forward with much more quality setup. Thank you, AK. Not AK. Thank you, Anand. I've been trying to get some improvements for a while now. There will be some new graphics relatively soon as well that you guys can check out. They're on order, so they're going to take a little time. And we'll see how they develop going forwards. We'll see how they develop going forwards. I'm looking at some new designs. I'm looking at improving the quality. And it is due to the generosity of those on Twitch that we are able to do this. So a huge thank you to everyone on Twitch who's given, who's chatted, who's done all of that. Hopefully, as we grow, we're currently on 720 subscribers. Hopefully, as we grow closer to that 1,000 and that 4,000 watch hours, we will then be able to say that we're able to start making money from YouTube as well. Just your views will then start earning money for me just by doing the same thing you're doing right now, jumping in and chatting. So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to sorting out at some point in the near future. Once I reach that level of monetization, you better believe a lot of other people are getting as much recommendation as possible. They're getting collaborations. We're giving them as much time and effort as we can to get them there as well. I'm the sort of person who wants to say to people, look, I'm now at this level. I'm going to grab you and I'm going to get you at this level as quickly as I possibly can. That's the plan. AK says, replace TLC with December to Dismember maybe? I wouldn't mind it. Give me a random elimination chamber match just in the middle of a normal pay-per-view. Just do it. Just do it. Gleb says, happy to hear that. Hanging on, working as usual. How are you doing? That was a very challenging cast because I had to do that all on my own. Not going to lie, that was hard. Oh, sorry to hear that, mate. I've been looking forward to some videos, and you streamed the finals, but there should have been a whole plethora of them, mate. I can't get enough of this stuff. I genuinely can't. You should just start doing dual streams whenever Riot Games are online. Like, genuinely. Just do a dual stream every time Riot Games is online and see if you can see how much that draws, because I feel it'll draw, mate. We'll talk. Christoph says, please let us know as soon as you have a PayPal or Patreon for those who don't use Twitch. That's fair. The plan is once we monetize on YouTube, you can essentially donate here. But I will set up something for donations going forwards, maybe just one of those Ko-fi accounts or something like that for people who would like to donate but don't have Twitch. That's certainly an option. Twitter, by the way, is starting to look at tip options, so maybe we could look at that. But certainly that's an option. Thank you for thinking of me there, Christoph. Riff says, why does the WWE no longer make good music? Most of the songs sound generic and instrumental. Not that instrumental is bad, but it's overused, and AEW has the same problem. WWE fired their head music guy, and the music sort of changed afterwards. They are trying to spend less money, and with less money spent means less quality. Cult of Personality was the last time that I can think of a particular song that really grabbed the entire audience, though there have been some good pieces of music as well. Glorious. No, I won't give in. I won't give in until I'm victorious, and I will defend. I will defend. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You know how I feel. I feel glorious. There's some good stuff. Welcome, Tanner. Thank you for joining us, mate. Anand says, do you think WWE can go with Big E versus Edge at the Rumble or next pay-per-view after the Rumble? I do not think they're going to do that because Edge is a face, and I don't think they're going to muddy the waters by having Edge wrestle any faces at any point soon. AK says, will there be any takeover for NXT in the future, or will they be discontinued or renamed? There will be takeovers, but it will be few and far between. They're not going to be booked in the same way that they were previously. We're more likely to see a lot of NXT special shows as they try, essentially desperately, to claw back the ratings that they've been able to achieve over the last few... just to claw back the ratings. I think I'll leave it there. Gleb says, I loved Corbin's old theme, I Am the Darkness. It was pretty great. I loved that theme. I absolutely loved that theme. And it annoys me that they haven't gone back to it. His current theme is ridiculous. I hate it. And he organised that as well. AK said the Undisputed Era music was great. Adam Cole's new one is brilliant. I do remember sitting at an NXT UK takeover. In the Undisputed Era were there. They attacked Volta and Imperium afterwards. And then I was in view of the desk where they were organising the music. And I could see someone rapidly downloading the Undisputed Era theme because they weren't ready and the crowd were turning on the WWE for not providing that theme. Good times. Gleb says, as a musician, it's just a very strange relationship with WWE's music. Well, to be fair, mate, I kind of understand that. At some point soon, when I get my setup properly, I'll bring Charlotte up. Charlotte is my guitar. I've had her for 18 years. She's a red Fender Strat, as used by Richie Blackmore. Richie Blackmore, my guy. With said, is it wise to buy action figures online? No, not at all. You never know what you're going to get. Ed has tried to explain more about the music and done so in a very nice way. Says WWE got rid of Jim Johnston, then ran into a huge issue with the record company for CFO, and now they have a new in-house producing group. They aren't as creative as the previous groups. Yeah, it's just it's several layers of disappointment stacked on top of each other, let's be honest, and it's a real shame. There's been some really good themes, but most of them were Jim Johnston. Also, I just have very strong memories of Steve Austin trying desperately to make Jim Johnston just drink a damn beer. Just drink a beer. Why are you not drinking a beer? Just drink a damn beer. Good times. Christoph says, do you think NXT's Halloween Havoc will be able to continue the high match quality that special shows used to have in old NXT? Yes, I think NXT 2.0 will still deliver very high quality matches because that's what NXT is built on, it's predicated on. Shorter shows, less matches, longer and high quality. That's what everyone expects from them nowadays, and that's what I expect from them as well. Alyssa says, do you think Edge is win? I think Edge wins. Going to think need change for Seth Rollins. Do you remember Edge's promo was humble him, mean change? Needs to tap out again. Not the top heel in the company. Never move. Feel like second Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins is unquestionably the top heel on Raw right now. Definitely the top heel on Raw. Absolutely he is. I do think the character needs to change and develop because it's become very samey, very similar, and honestly just considerably more stale. Just more stale for me. It's one of those. I feel it could do with a shake-up, but I don't necessarily think it's going to happen at least this close to Mania. Usually they do their shake-ups after WrestleMania. Riffing says Captain America looks exactly like John Cena, just with a blue helmet on. So he should. John Cena is Captain America. You just can't see him. Anand says, where is The Miz? Is he doing some other reality show? Due to his absence, John Morrison's not having a storyline. Seeing him like this is a bit disappointing. As AK Ray responds there, he is on Dancing with the Stars. His new genie look was hilarious. It was. By all means, check that out, Anand. Essentially, The Miz is on a reality TV show involving dancing. The WWE do hype that up on Raw every time to suggest that people vote for him, without suggesting that people change the channel because he is technically their competition. Gleb says, Saliva as always was amazing too. Batista's theme, the guitar is just nuts. I'm still thinking if I should try to learn to play it later. Though Jim was an icon, his themes are superb. That's what we need to do, mate. That's what we need to do. We need to get a stream going, me and you, and we'll just get you playing WWE music. We'll just do it. It'll be hilarious. I'll get my guitar out too. I'll have to string her because so far she has no strings. But we'll work something out. It could be fun. AK says, why do heels mostly perform better than babyfaces in today's era? Babyfaces ultimately have got a very difficult job to do. Their job is to make people care, whereas it's easier to make people hate you. As a heel, in Becky Lynch's words, as a heel you can do anything. You can do anything. Whereas as a babyface, you've got to live up to fan expectations. Heels are cooler, basically. That's true, Ed. That's true. That is true. I got a job instead, mate, which they're now making full time. So I run out of time, unfortunately. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We'll make it happen. We will make it happen. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Riff says, do you think if the internet era never started, WWE would have still been good? I think WWE is good now, Riff. That's my personal opinion. I don't mind it. I really don't. Gleb says, I have a piano sitting here, but it's so out of tune. Gotta drop out. Wish you all amazing evening, people. As always, I look forward to working with you. Peace, peeps. Thank you for dropping in, Gleb. Really do appreciate that. We'll see you very soon on this channel, I'm sure, at some point as well. Okay. Oh, and also I can come on yours and play League of Legends. Got a new PC now. We can make that happen. AK said one of the best musical parts in a wrestling theme is in Bray's old theme with the guitar. It's just awesome. I was mortified when he got rid of that theme. I loved that theme. I got bored at work one day and just learned that theme. Good times. Really good times. I do love when we get into like a rich vein of questions and I'm having to fly through them a little bit and completely ignoring the fact that this is supposed to be a preview. Pardon me. And give some predictions. Absolutely, and I loved it. Catching flies. Good stuff. Can't sing to save my life, but I'm going to try. He won't see the sun again for years to come. He's broken down in love. Riff, this PC is delivering more than 4,000 bits at once. YouTube isn't actually a fan of that. It recommends about 1,000 bits. It's giving out 4,000. Yeah. I'll continue to up the resolution as we go, by the way, because it's going to get good. It's going to get good. You wait until this thing gets on Twitch. Quality is just going to skyrocket. Thank you, Lauren. When I watch the video back and cringe, we'll see how that goes. We have quite a few musicians in the chat, don't we? We could make some music. We could do that. We can talk about that. We could make a charity single. That is both a brilliant and terrible idea all at once. We can make a charity single. Welcome, Fayas, saying that was my favourite theme of Wyatt. Same. Magnificent music. AK says, I love to sing Sexy Boy when I'm alone. Love this theme. I want that played at my funeral. Just so everybody knows, because ultimately, like, one of you, probably Ed, you'll end up having to arrange the damn thing, because, like, you guys care more than anyone else in the world. So, yeah, Sexy Boy, funeral. And now he's Dead Boy. Then you can make it a whole Dead Boys thing, like Dead Boys Fitness. It'll all work. Lauren's excited by a charity single. We'll talk about that on Twitch. Twitch seems a better place for that. We could do that. I don't know if we could actually do that, but we could do that. I'm losing my mind. So, my opinion is that Seth Rollins will win the Hell in a Cell match, but I do feel that both of these will be moving into top-level feuds in the near future. Edge, for me, would line up against Bobby Lashley fairly soon. I'd like that, and also kind of be scared of it. Next up, Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley. As I've just mentioned, Bobby Lashley, let's go for it. Goldberg and Bobby Lashley will be competing in a no-holds-barred match, no championships involved. And this is one of where I get a little bit surprised, because the betting favourite for this match is Goldberg. The money is on Goldberg quite heavily. Now, I did some digging, and it looks like Goldberg has one more match after this one. So he will have this match and then one more. So logically, yes, I think Goldberg will win this match. And then we will continue to one final match between Lashley and Goldberg at WrestleMania. That's when I think we're going to see it. Failing that, we could see one final match at the Royal Rumble, and then we see Brock Lesnar get involved for Mania, but I don't see it. I think this particular feud is going all the way to WrestleMania, Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. The way to make that happen is with a Goldberg win at Crown Jewel. So the no-holds-barred may come down to a distraction from Gage Goldberg. I do feel he's definitely going to get involved in some way, but hopefully, I don't think anyone's going to get murdered. You know? As long as no one gets murdered, I'm happy, because they're going for it. I do not know stand back. I'm worried now, Riff. Worried. That's it, Ed. That's it. That's what I need. I need to be remembered forever by having the most ridiculous funeral possible. Like, play trance. Play party music. Make it ridiculous. I want balloon arches. I want balloon arches. Celebrate. You know? It's one of the reasons I try and make people hate me. Is so that when I'm gone, you're all happy. Ed says, I want to see Edge versus AJ. Me too, mate. Absolutely. We know that would deliver. There's no reason not to do it. Absolutely no reason at all. They're on the same brand. Christoph says, how's this year's G1 going? Still watching last year's to get into NJPW. So many wrestlers I enjoy there now. I know this year's G1 is missing some names, but do you still enjoy it? I do still enjoy it. The wrestling quality is still high. There's a couple of names who don't often get the push, as it were, who are getting a lot behind them right now, including one debutant who's doing extremely well. We still have Toru Yano, so I'm never disappointed anywhere there is Toru Yano. But I hope you're enjoying last year's G1. No spoilers as per usual, but let me know where you're up to, because there's always good stuff coming. It may have been a hint, Ed. It may have been a hint. Goldberg goes where the payday is. There are some very rich people in wrestling nowadays. Riffing says, did Lesnar and Batista ever have a legit backstage fight? Not that I'm aware of, no. Lesnar doesn't really have legit backstage fights. He tends to just walk up to people and say, either punch me or kiss me. They tend to kiss him. I probably would as well. It's either that or fight Brock Lesnar. I don't want to fight Brock Lesnar. That's scary. Nobody wants that. Christoph wants into the charity single. By all means, Christoph, you let me know what you want to do on it. We'll make a ridiculous, like full-on parody, wrestling-themed charity single, and it'll be horrible, and you'll love it. It'll be amazing. That could go really viral as well. Oh, we should totally do that. It's a horrible, horrible idea. Let's actually do it. Christoph says, it's great to see how everyone is in a good mood. Fun stream, guys. Ah, that's lovely, Christoph. Cheers for that. We get a lot of really positive energy here. I love these shows. And Anne says, when do you think WWE will break AJ Styles and Omos's tag team? I am missing AJ's singles run. Could have gone to SmackDown, had a dream feud with Reigns. Styles versus Reigns is still one of my favourite feuds of the last 10 years. It wasn't even that long. It was a 2-month feud. But my God, was it good. The wrestling matches were incredible, even if they did occasionally get overbooked. And just seeing AJ slowly lose his mind at constantly being screwed over by the Usos was just incredible viewing. I hope we get it again, but there is no chance as long as Paul Heyman is involved with Roman Reigns. No chance at all. AJ Styles on Raw is there purely to put people over. Purely to put people over. That's the sole reason that he's there. And I think that will continue as long as AJ Styles is on Raw. AK says, Goldberg said he's going to leave Lashley dead and gasping for air. Make sense of these promos yourself, fans. Well, I think that's easy enough to make sense of. Goldberg wants to murder Bobby Lashley, and he knows he'll get away with it in Saudi Arabia, so he wants to do it in Crown Jewel. Makes sense, doesn't it? Riff says, compare Seth Rollins invading Edge's house with Triple H invading Randy Orton's house. There's a lot of home invasions. There's a lot of comparisons. Personally, I would rather compare it to the supermarket fight between Booker T and Steve Austin. It's not necessarily comparable, but it's funny. Don't we like funny? I like funny. I bet you like funny. Funny's good. Riffing says, should Goldberg win the WWE Championship? No, never again. I don't want him anywhere near a championship ever again. I just don't want it. AK says, just give Brock versus AJ one more time. I'd be happy with that as well. A lot of people at that time did not realize that Brock was an incredibly good wrestler. They didn't realize. They genuinely didn't. But he keeps having incredible matches. And it's not just the opponents. It's him as well. We have to ask the question, was the match with Dean Ambrose a good match because... was it a bad match because of Brock Lesnar, or was it a bad match because of both of them? I don't think either of them particularly wanted to work together. AK says, I've read that. Fayaz says, if it was Styles versus Reigns, I watched that match some weeks back. Fantastic match. Oh, you're just saying it was a great feud. Right. Yeah, both matches were incredible. I definitely want to see them again. But the Extreme Rules one I feel was a little bit better just because it was rough and tumble, as it were. Riffing says Triple H should retire. He has retired, mate. He's not going to wrestle again. Not with the heart condition now. I don't see him wrestling again. At least personally. I think Triple H is essentially retired at this point. I don't see him stepping back into the ring ever again. And I'm not mad about that. He has faith in the people at the top now. He has absolute faith that they're going to do the job that's required of them. And honestly, can't blame him for it. And AK says, Brock is really a generational talent. If he cares, he can give a brilliant match. He absolutely can. And it's very rare that he doesn't care. It's very rare that he doesn't care. I'm a rhyming machine today. I'm having great ideas non-stop. Right, before we get back to the preview, if anyone hasn't done so yet, please do consider hitting that like button. We are currently sitting on 7 likes, which is pretty damn good. But we also have 12 viewers. So we have 5 viewers who can click like right now, minimum, and make a big difference to the channel. It really is as simple as just clicking that little thumbs up and seeing what a difference it makes, because we always seem to have slightly more viewers than we do likes. So please consider that. And of course, if you haven't yet and you're new here, click that subscribe button, because we'll be doing more live streams. We'll be doing another live stream tomorrow, maybe even one on Saturday for a very special reason that we won't go into too much talking about. And it says new PC equals new Colohue. New PC now means Cookahue stream time. I can't move a PC down into the kitchen, mate. I can't do that. I could stream from my phone on Twitch, but then I couldn't engage with the chat at all. So we'd have to work something out. That said, you know, I can make fajitas. Pretty good at it. I can't bake. Oh. We could do Bake Off. We could get like 5 or 6 streamers. Okay? 5 or 6 streamers. Right? And we will make it so that all of their audio is shared. Right? Just the audio. And then everyone will have their own stream and they'll get the challenge. So you'll say, okay, you need to bake this. And then everyone starts at the same time and you all have like different streams that you can check out and just watch them trying to bake something at the same time. Oh, I'm a genius. Also, it's actually not genius. I mean, it's just, I watched Bake Off yesterday, so of course it jumps in. Oh, there are ideas. There are ideas. I have too many ideas. We'll work something out. Right. AK says, what is the worst match from Saudi? Michaels breaking his retirement or Goldberg almost breaking Taker's neck? I wasn't happy with the tag team match, but I hated Goldberg versus Undertaker. I can't say more than that because ultimately I haven't watched them. I don't support Saudi Arabia shows. I don't watch them on principle. Riff Thing says, who do you think as a babyface champion? Riff, would you be able to clarify that question? Because I'm not entirely sure what you're saying. Could you clarify a little bit for me, please? Would appreciate that. And answer, are there any plans of Wade Barrett's return? Mrs. Bad News Barrett gimmick and his running elbow smack. No intention at the moment for Wade Barrett to step into the ring. No intention whatsoever. Oh, there you go, Lauren. There you go. You want to stream baking? Let's do it. Let's make something happen. We could even just go one-on-one challenge. We can make it work. Alyssa says, do you think... Again, Alyssa, I'm not entirely sure what you're saying. I think something corrected itself there. Who are you asking about needs more baby faces? Riff says, I have a feeling WWE will change the name of Ashanti the Adonis to just simply Ashanti because they love shortening wrestlers' names. Yeah, there's a reason for that. There is an absolute reason for that. They, short names get over. There's a reason Hunter Hearst Helmsley became Triple H. It's not a new thing. Not a new thing. Carno, welcome, mate, says, Tom, don't lie, you can't bake. I can't. That's where the comedy is. I can't bake. Can't bake to save my life. But it'd be hilarious in a stream as my entire kitchen gets set on fire. Tell me you wouldn't enjoy that. Billy, welcome, mate. How you doing, man? Great to see you. Riff says, who do you see as... Nope, still... You haven't really reiterated there, Riff. You've said the exact same thing. I don't know what you mean by... Oh, sorry. No, I've got you. Okay, I've got you. WWE the heel company, AEW the face company. WWE are established as a heel company because Vince McMahon is a deplorable piece of shit. That's what they go for. So yeah, AEW is a face company because they've made themselves the face company. And mostly they're the underdog. If they start winning, they'll turn heel. Yeah. I get what you're going for now. Apologies, Riff. Connor says, good point. I would enjoy that. Carnage, failure, sadism. Tom Colohue brand. CFS. Carnage, failure, and sadism. I am a machine today. It's the new PC. It's doing things to me. Right, 2 matches left to cover. And that is firstly the WWE Championship match. I keep clicking on the wrong screen. The WWE Championship match between Big E and Drew McIntyre. And I'm going to be really blunt. Drew McIntyre is going to SmackDown. There is no chance in hell that he's winning the WWE Championship from Big E. I cannot see it under any possibility, any stretch of the imagination. It makes no sense to me that would be what happens. Big E should retain clean over Drew McIntyre as Drew McIntyre goes out on his back off to SmackDown. Makes sense. Does good stuff for Big E. And honestly, I think the match will be okay. We're really now getting to see what Big E can deliver as a top-level champion. I like it so far. Very much so. We'll see how it continues. Riff says, I'm surprised WWE didn't shorten the name of Shinsuke Nakamura yet. They've tried. They called him Shin for a while. It didn't work. They extended it for a while as well. The artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura. It's weird. Connor said, it's what your channel is built on. Absolutely it is. Absolutely. I like free word phrases like that. For example, I had one for a while. Consume, revolt, destroy. That's a Colohue brand. Consume, revolt, destroy. Sounds like, like something Brock Lesnar would come out with, but it breaks down even simpler. Consume information. Revolt against convention. Destroy expectation. Consume, revolt, destroy. CRD. So here, Carnage. That's what this channel is built on. Carnage. We can be the Carnage channel. I mean, Tom Carnage Colohue. Don't work, does it? Doesn't work. Billy says, what's the tech? I got myself a new streaming PC. The processor is much improved. The RAM is much improved. I can even add more RAM, which I'll be doing in the near future. I can get a graphics card going. And this is one of the reasons that if I go to my stream health tab, the stream's current bitrate, 3,268.26 kilobytes per second, is higher than the recommended bitrate. We recommend that you use a stream bitrate of 1,000 kilobytes per second. So I need to work out how to do that. That's the next job. But this is one of the reasons I'm streaming today. I know this is not one of my normal streams, guys, but this is one of the reasons I'm streaming today to test the kit because it's certainly dramatically improved. I do have new designs on order for the graphics, so you will be seeing new designs of them shortly that you can check out. They are on order. I'm getting them from Fiverr because people there do a good job, and it's also relatively cheap, even if it's not a Fiverr anymore. It's like a pound shop where things cost £2.50. It makes no sense. But I digress. I'm going to get them made. I did know a graphic designer, someone who's very good, who made the spoiler warning sign, but he doesn't really drop in anymore, and it's a real shame. Oh well. But I'll get some new graphics made, a new logo made with this old face on it, and we'll see how things go from there. It should be fun. That's the important thing. Also, by the way, after November, when the Twitch sports team, essentially my time there comes to an end, the 3-month period that I have there, I will be going back to dual streams for watch parties on both Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views on YouTube and on Twitch. Those are responsible for some of our most successful times on YouTube, and I would like to get them back. Alyssa says, do you think WWE have made more baby faces, too many heels in the company? At the moment, the dynamic is very much too heel heavy for me. I agree there. Certain baby faces need more, but then at the same time, I think the certain baby faces, Bianca Belair, Damian Priest immediately jump to mind, have been getting really good pushes. I think Nakamura has been getting a really big push. WWE, when it comes to faces recently, have sort of cracked it. Big E, of course, also worth mentioning. Billy says, could that sport thing be extended? Potentially, yes. However, the reason I was invited into the sports team is because my channel on Twitch started doing really, really well. Just really well. To a point where we went basically overnight from an average of 10 viewers to an average of 20 viewers. The main reason for that, essentially, is because we had really big wrestling news and more people started jumping in as a result of raids, as a result of just checking out what I was doing on Twitter. Now, it literally just went boom. Just boom. Now, obviously at the time, I was reporting news about Sonya Deville. I was reporting news about SummerSlam. I was reporting news about Becky Lynch and her return. News about Sasha Banks, which has been proven true since. So I was on a real rich vein of reporting form. Sometimes you just get really big reports handed to you and you're able to share them. So that drew a lot of people in, and quite a few of those people stuck around, but not all of them did. So after August, that 20 viewership dropped down to about 15 or 16. It's still an improvement on the 10 previous, but I've basically spent September and so far in October bringing it back towards that 20. Because I was invited into the sports team when I had 20, and I've had to bring it back to that level, I am unlikely to get an extension unless the channel goes boom again and I get up to, say, 35 or 40. We are doing extremely well. For my first year streaming, I've done ridiculously well because of the generosity of all of you. To have, I believe right now, 426 followers and almost 100 subscribers, it's unheard of. Unheard of. It does not happen. I cannot stress enough that it does not happen. At most, I should be looking at 21 subscribers based on what everyone else is doing, but that hasn't happened. That is the community that we have built. It is incredible, and that's you guys doing that. So I don't see it being extended, but I could be invited back in at some point in future. So it's certainly worth considering. There says NXT UK is back with fans. Excited for Ilya Dragunov versus A-Kid. Are you, Tom? I am not. I'm not an average watcher of NXT UK because of all the how to describe this? All the people named in Speaking Out as sex pests, abusers, just in abusers, and etc. I don't really support the brand. Indeed, Christoph, indeed. Alyssa says, can't stand Raquel as champion. Do you think Mandy Rose will win the belt at Halloween Havoc? I don't think it's impossible. I also don't think Raquel Gonzalez has been the greatest champion. I wouldn't say I can't stand her. I think she's been okay. I think a large part of that is a lack of competition. She hasn't really got anyone stepping up to her, not since Dakota Kai moved on, at least. She hasn't actually moved to a different brand. She hasn't technically moved on. She's just not there for some reason. So I think Mandy Rose might actually take the championship, yeah. Connor says, I wonder how it started doing well. Basically, that was it. And I think we'll be solid on Twitch with like 20 viewers, slowly growing until Royal Rumble, probably. That's the next growth period. Royal Rumble, then WrestleMania. That's when people tune in for wrestling coverage and for wrestling watch-alongs. I think that's when we'll see the next boom period. But right now, I'm really happy with the streams that we do, with the chat that we get, and with the people that are there. Not least people like yourself, Connor. Wonderful, very generous people who keep the chat moving. The shows that I do, there's a great example here. I've not spoken about Crown Jewel in the last 10 minutes because you guys are feeding the show. This feels like a Twitch stream to me. You guys are making this show happen. But the difference between this and Twitch is that it's easier to find new people and new viewers than it is on Twitch. It's easier to find new subscribers and so on and so forth, because instead of being based on hype trains and the like, that little like button genuinely just guarantees more viewers. I can see the dip and then the point at which I said, can we get some more likes? And then it rises again by another 6 people. Makes a huge difference, and we don't have that on Twitch unless you get to hype trains. People have to spend on Twitch in order to make it a success, whereas here, not necessarily. Anan says, what do you think of the hit tag team from NXT, which will make their debut in SmackDown soon? There's some good tag teams which were very good in NXT but lost in the main roster. Do you think they can make an impact? I am going to be completely honest, I must have missed that because I'm not sure who you're speaking about. I'm not sure. Oh, do you mean Hit Row? If you mean Hit Row, I'm hyped for Swerve versus Nakamura. That's all I'll say. Christoph says, I have no idea what the bit rates and technical details mean, but it's safe to consider the test a success. I definitely think so, yeah. We're going to be doing a bit of testing. Not everything's going to be a massive success, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know how people feel about having the camera slightly higher. I'm quite liking it, personally. I think it's a real good level here. I can lean back and it won't be an issue. But we'll see how it goes when I'm, for example, doing this. And I'm watching a TV to watch BT Sport so that I can watch Raw and SmackDown. That said, of course, the stream will also be coming from... I suppose I could always put it on top of the TV. I'll make it work. But the stream will also be emanating now from this laptop. So I won't be going on to BT Sport on the PS4 anymore, where it just breaks all the time. I'll instead be streaming from this here PC, which is already connected to my TV. Billy, no, it's not a new camera. I'd imagine it looks like a new camera, but it's actually not. It's just that this PC can handle streaming. Who'da thunk it, you know? Who'da thunk it? If I can drop the bitrate without dropping the quality, that's what I'll do. But, to be honest, it says my stream status is good rather than excellent. With the laptop, I get excellent, but the quality is worse. It's just worse. So, I'm happy. It says Hit Row is fantastic. I'm liking them. I love how different they are. How unique and incomparable they are to basically anything else going on right now. I'm hyped for Hit Row, what can I say? The user says it's almost certain Big E will win because Drew is going to SmackDown, which already has a main event title. I agree, the user. Thank you for bringing me back onto topic. Let's talk about our main event in Saudi Arabia, which was where Crown Jewel is. In case you don't know, it's in Saudi Arabia. It will feature the Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns will defend against Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, Mr. Suplex, Brocky Lesnar, Mr. Bork Laser himself will be competing as a face. A face? He'll be a good guy. Taking on Roman Reigns. As we all know, a large part of this is what's going to happen with Paul Heyman. Who can tell what's going to happen right now with Paul Heyman? When it comes to the match, hype. I am all hype. But still not going to watch it. No, I'm not hype enough. These two have good matches, which usually feature really big moments. I wouldn't be too surprised to see some blood in this one, and just make it real intense. I just really enjoy that. That said, and this will be the first time I've ever said this, Brock Lesnar doesn't have a chance. This is all Roman. All Roman. Roman Reigns, his record against Brock Lesnar, it's not great. It really isn't. It really isn't. So I'm excited to see what the plans are for this match, whatever it may be. I'm excited to read about it afterwards. And really, when it comes to this, Brock Lesnar is not going to be the next Universal Champion. But the fact that we're not entirely sure is a very good thing for the WWE. One thing I do want to say before I jump back into the chat, I am currently looking at adding a trivia system to Twitch, which will mean that at any point you can do !trivia and a bot will automatically ask you a trivia question in the chat, and it will ask everyone in the chat that trivia question. Now, I will have to populate that trivia and essentially ask the questions, but I think that could be a lot of fun. If at any point during a show you can just ask for a trivia question, for example during commercial breaks, as we've done once in the past with a lot of success, I think that could be great. And I'll talk to some of our experts and see if they have any suggestions for questions as well, and we'll go from there. We could have little quizzes anytime it gets a little bit slow in the chat. That could be fun, I feel. Christoph says, do you think NXT will slowly introduce new belts that replace the old logo with the new one? Yes and no. I think they will start those with belts lower down the card. I think we're going to get a new NXT Championship sooner rather than later, and it's probably going to be a bit more colourful. I don't like the concept, but I do think it's going to happen. Ed says, when we talk about them on our show, this being Hit Row, the word we use for Legado and Hit Row is authentic, or, to phrase it perfectly as Ed says, authentic. Sorry, let me try again. Authentic. I can see that working. I could definitely see that working. You should definitely do that. AK says Swerve can be a challenger for Reigns for a short feud, as SmackDown doesn't really have main event players. He definitely can't. Heel versus heel is not something the WWE want to do with Roman Reigns at this point. I do think we're likely to see Swerve versus Nakamura. There are other people lower down the card as well. Swerve versus McIntyre is unlikely at this point, but there are a lot of people Swerve could work with lower down the card. Swerve versus Ricochet is definitely on the agenda. Ricochet is going to get a push. Billy says, wonder if there will be any Newcastle shirts in the crowd at Crown Jewel. Probably. I'd imagine they'll be handing them out just to get them on TV and get them some attention. I can't believe that happened. can't believe that happened. AK says, when the stipulation for Reigns versus Lesnar will be announced, Heyman on a pole match. Poor guy. Poor guy. Like, that doesn't sound comfortable. Just like on the Ow. Ed says, I like how you say experts, but we all know you mean our stat queen. We all know that, yeah. That is 100% the case. This has been our Crown Jewel preview. This has been our predictions, our news, our rumours. This has been a Thursday show out of nowhere, and we've still had 100 playbacks. We've still had plenty of viewers, plenty of likes. That is down to you guys. So I want to say a massive thank you to all of you for being here, for asking your questions, for supporting the chat so much. We are continuing to grow. We are getting closer and closer to the point at which YouTube might actually start to make me some money. Tom's very excited for that. Very, very excited for that. And really wants to make it happen. AK says, would Inspiration, will they win the Impact Tag Team Championship Bound for Glory, or will they hold off? The fact that they've immediately walked into a Tag Team Championship match suggests to me that, yeah, they're taking those belts immediately. And with that, I'm going to wrap up. I've been Tom Colohue. Please do remember to click subscribe on this channel if you haven't yet. We will be live tomorrow at the same time. I'm going to be doing more live shows, as you guys know, going forwards. You'll also be getting plenty of news videos from Spoiler Warning, plenty of news that you can't get anywhere else. News like the Shayna Baszler push, news about Becky Lynch's return that you just didn't get anywhere else. So it's definitely worth hitting that subscribe button, like if you haven't. In the meantime, though, I hope everyone's having a great day. I hope everyone will have a great weekend if I don't see you tomorrow. I've been Tom Colohue. You've been fantastic. We're making a charity single, and I will see you all very, very soon.